President Trump's border czar trying to clean up speculation that he did a dirty deal with the mayor of New York. Mayor Adams saw his corruption case suddenly dropped by the DOJ, leading to more than a half dozen DOJ prosecutors quitting in protest. Since then, the New York mayor doing several interviews sitting beside border czar Tom Homan, saying there was no quid pro quo to let the case go. But eyebrows raised when Homan said this.
If he doesn't come through, I'll be back in New York City, and we won't be sitting on the couch. I'll be in his office, up his butt, saying, where the hell is the agreement we came to? So that was a joke, and if you play the tape further, he laughs, immediate response, well, I'm going to hold you accountable too. I'll hold ICE accountable, get what they did done. I'm telling him, I need you to come through on your promise. He responds to me that I need to come through on mine.
Joining us now to discuss, former New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. Thank you so much for being here. What you just heard from Tom Homan, he talks about them doing he doesn't say deal, the plan. I mean, is this a deal that they have made from what you've been listening to?
Look, it doesn't look good for sure. And I think it was a huge mistake for the mayor to go on that show with Tom Homan, who's a figure who is reviled by many here in New York City. We're the ultimate city of immigrants. And here's a man who is extremely disrespectful to immigrants, treats them all like they're criminals, even though the vast majority are law abiding. So that was a mistake to begin with. This situation's a mess, Sarah, obviously. But what I'm concerned about at the same time is, you know, a quid pro quo is a very different matter than a policy decision. Whether I agree with him or not, I often don't. Eric Adams has said he wants to do something different about immigration than some of the rest of us had done previously. Yeah. That has to be seen in its own light. But right now, it's incumbent upon Eric Adams to set this record straight. He has basically, in my view, he has this week to do it. His entire political career, his time as mayor, everything comes down to this week. He has to convince the people of New York City right now that he will take on Donald Trump when Donald Trump does something that hurts New York City. I don't mind if he agrees with Trump on a particular matter or has to curry favor to get funding. That happens all the time in politics. But if Trump is doing something that hurts New York City, the people of New York City have to believe Eric Adams will have their back.
What did you think of the corruption case on its face?
I thought it was a weak case, honestly.
You thought it was weak?
Yeah.
When you hear, though, from prosecutors who led the case, one of them saying about the decision to drop it, no system of ordered liberty can allow the government to use the carrot of dismissing charges or the stick of threatening to bring them again to induce an elected official to support its policy objectives. Is there something dirty going on here? These prosecutors, by the way, many of them clerked for conservative judges, many of them considered conservative voices.
Sarah, from my point of view, everything that's happening at the Justice Department is dirty right now. The Justice Department is being politicized, weaponized in a way we haven't seen since the Watergate years. So it's deeply troubling. Here, look, these folks had a chance at the Justice Department to say, these are weak charges. We choose not to pursue them. We have other cases we think are more important. That would have been fine. President Trump could have pardoned him. I don't love the way he's using the pardon, obviously, but he could have done that. I think it was very cynical and inappropriate for the Justice Department to act the way they did. It put Adams in this situation now. But now the onus is on Adams to prove him wrong. So far, he bluntly has not done a good enough job doing that. He has a chance now to fix that.
Do you really think he has a chance to fix that? Just judging from some of the comments that he has made and some of the things he has said, and sort of appearing on Fox and Friends in a place where this is a very heavily Democratic city.
He has a chance to fix it because history always tells us there's a chance to turn things around. People have to see resolve from him. And if he doesn't do it really quickly, events are going to overtake him. And the unfortunate reality is we have in this city right now a series of choices before us. We have an election for mayor in 4 months, Democratic primary, which is decisive. If it's not going to be Eric Adams at this point, it looks like it's going to be Andrew Cuomo, a man charged with numerous acts of sexual harassment, among other things. I mean, this is a very sad reality for New York City right now. So when I say he has one chance to fix it, it's almost like a prayer that something gets better in this city, and the mayor shows that leadership to help us get out of this mess.
Here's why I ask whether he has a chance to fix it. When you look at what happened surrounding him, never mind the case being dropped by the Trump administration. And by the way, the Deputy Attorney General has said it wasn't dropped on the merits of the case. It was dropped because he wouldn't be able, if he was doing this and being in court, wouldn't be able to go through with Donald Trump's initiatives on immigration. So it wasn't about the merits of the case. But when you look at what happened surrounding Mayor Adams, you had, and I have to read this because there are so many, you had so many people resign, a whole bunch of aides, but the first deputy mayor resigned, the school chancellor resigned, the deputy mayor for public safety resigned, the chief counsel resigned, the police commissioner resigned, the health commissioner resigned. That leaves the city with a whole lot of, well, no, right? Oversight, no management of certain things, because they are looking at this case and going, we don't want anything to do with it. What does that tell you about his leadership?
It's deeply troubling. It's deeply troubling. And the fact is, and it's fascinating and painful to watch something like this, because that simple act of going on Fox and Friends, that alone, or having the meeting with Honan, poisoned this situation. That was his mistake. Again, he is the elected mayor of New York City. We should be doing everything by elections. One of the other things.
Shouldn't he be working with the president is a question.
Well, in general, any mayor should work with the president, try and get the best out of that relationship for the people we serve. But the fact is, elections are what matter here. One of the things Justice Department has actually said for generations is they should not interfere with elections. So there is an important grain of truth in saying resolve cases before you get too close to election. Resolve them one way or another. Either bring them and act on them or drop them. But the bottom line is, yes, this is a profound crisis. If he doesn't do something different right now, it's obviously the end of the line. But that's bad for New York City on a whole nother level. Because then look at the ramifications. Look at the likely next leader and what happens. And we get plunged into a new era of scandal. This is not something that should be happening in the biggest city in this country, the greatest city in the world, in my view. Here we are. I'm just praying he can give people some reason to believe again. If he can't, then events will overtake him.
Will you run?
My time is, I was honored to serve for 8 years. My time is done.
All right. Bill de Blasio, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.